This video is only one part of an in-depth review, so check out the rest at thegoodride.com. Thanks for watching. This is the Capita Navigator. I haven't been able to get on a lot of Capita boards lately, so I just straight up bought this because I've had a lot of reader requests, and here's my take. I rode this pre-season with Union Expeditions, my drift boards, and my Burton Tourist boots in about knee-high powder. Really good day. And then when the resorts opened, I got this on some pretty hard groomers and some pretty decent groomers. To give you a short summary, the Capita Navigator has a tapered directional shape, but more of a mountain freestyle flex and a very interesting feel underfoot. The board ride's a little more centered than you would think for its directional shape, and it feels a little more playful and a little more buttery and a little more mountain freestyle oriented than you would think for its shape. It's kind of like the Capita Kazoo. It looks really tapered and directional, but then when you get on it, it really has this very Capita, very mountain freestyle kind of feel to it. A little more directional, a little more setback than the Kazoo, but still very Capita, very mountain freestyle. When it comes to sizing, I think I would have gone up one more size because this 58 just felt a little small for my weight, fine for my boot size, but if I had known it was really this soft and playful, I would have gone to the next size. I think it's a 60 or 61 or a 62. That would have been the call for me, and I would have had no problem turning and managing it, even with my size 9 boots. The camber profile is camber from basically the tail to a little bit past the front binding, and then rocker into the nose, and it has a pretty camberish feel. It's not totally unforgiving, but it does have some consequence in the tail. The over the nose, it's fine. The front foot, it's not that catchy, but the back foot can be a little catchy. It's semi-technical. It borders on being semi-locked in and stable. So maybe not the best board for a beginner intermediate, but great for that intermediate advanced to expert rider that wants a softer, playful ride. Now let's get into this flex and I'll show you what I mean. It just bends, even from the center. The nose is really soft, really easy to butter. So is the tail. The tail's a little stiffer than the nose, but it's still soft and really playful. And then the center is a little stiffer, more like medium stiff, but it's just so soft in the nose and tail that overall it has a very medium to medium soft feel on snow. It just feels playful. Oh, one other thing. Just look at this. It's just so like rubbery and springy at the same time. It bends easy, but then it has this really dynamic return after you push in. It just springs a lot. When it comes to speed, this is not what you get this board for. Yeah, you can point it on a little straight line here and there to make it through something, to get up over a hill before a hike or something like that, but it's not a bomber. The base glide is good, and the base comes with that Capita structure that sounds kind of like somebody scratching their fingers over a vinyl record when you're riding sometimes. It doesn't have the base glide like a lot of Capita higher end boards do, but it's pretty consistent in all conditions. And if you're riding in wet spring snow or just wet rainy kind of snow, sometimes you get rain midwinter, that base structure really helps keep its speed, and it doesn't get sticky and stop you up like some bases in this price point would. When it comes to uneven terrain, it's great for that soft, messy, all-day resort riding where you're just doing a lot of low-speed riding and you're kind of playing around, turning a lot, and getting through stuff. That's where I think this shines really well. It's not for hammering through chunder at high speeds. It's going to buck and bounce you around a little more. But it just has this really cool feel where it's rubbery and poppy and it can absorb chatter, but it doesn't overly buck you unless you really start picking up speed and hitting like sizable uneven terrain while you're doing it. When it comes to edge hold, I was a little disappointed here. This in the Kazoo with this camber from the tail all the way past the front insert, it just doesn't seem to grip as much as some of their stuff with flat in the tail, going to camber, going to rocker. I took this out against the Burton Instigator, which I thought this would have better grip. The Burton Instigator had much better grip than this, and they're both kind of in a similar price point. The Burton Instigator's cheaper. It doesn't have that dynamic flex, and it doesn't have this kind of fun, poppy ride, but it gripped really well and wasn't as catchy. I had to do a lot of work with this board to get it to grip, and I really had to twist and really get it to bite into that hard groomer day. But when the groomers got good, I forgot about it and it gripped fine. When it comes to turn initiation, this 58 was really fast for me. It was nice and quick edge to edge. I would say medium fast to fast. And it really was fun in all kinds of turns. It has that kind of fun side cut that if you want to try to circle carve, you can. If you want to try to make some wider radius turns, you can. If you like across the groomer turns that aren't too hard, but just across the groomers. If you want to do some long S turns, it can't handle the speed, but it can handle the turn. So just, don't pick up too much speed there and you're good. Not a bad carver, just has to be good conditions. And powder, this doesn't have a lot of setback on board for its shape. It's good for Capita's line, but in comparison to a lot of other tapered directional boards with this kind of shape, it sits a little more centered on board. That could be great if you want a tapered mountain freestyle kind of ride, but it's bad if you want to set this all the way back on your back foot and get a lot of directional float and deep powder. In that one powder day I had, I felt like this was struggling a little more than a lot of other boards that day. So it's not ideal, but it's pretty good, and it's good enough float for most people. If it's super deep, you might want something a little more floaty. Like maybe get a Capita powder racers, that would be way better. When it comes to riding switch, I was pretty surprised. It rode switch pretty well. It was very doable. It's buttery and playful. It felt like a mountain freestyle board with a tapered shape. So that means you could probably go into the park and jib with this. You could hit some kickers and have a time. So overall, I think the Capita Navigator is a very unique ride. For a lot of you people looking for more of a traditional style free ride shape, I don't know if this is going to be for you. But if you're that mountain freestyler that wants some taper and wants to play around more, this could be a good fit, especially at this price point. All our reviews are a best effort, objective opinion from an average rider's perspective. There's no brand oversight, and we're free to say whatever we want. We send back everything unless it's a favorite, then we ask to keep those or straight up buy them. Now if you need advice, fill out the eHarmony profile in the Contact Us section of the site. It's the only way I can help you properly. If you want to support us, and if what we reviewed appeals to you, it helps if you buy through our links. So, thanks for watching.